and for the opportunity to interview you. Before we begin, we would like you to know that the interview will be recorded for assignment purposes.
Okay, I think I signed the consent form.
Mm. Thank you. Let's begin by introducing ourselves first. And could you also introduce your name, the industry you're in, and your current career after we introduce ourselves?
My
My name.
You first, okay.
Yeah. We first, then you.
All of you first. I'll go last.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. My name is Jasmine.
My name is Victoria.
This is Alena.
My name is Pavi.
And my name is Brian.
And we have our last friend Ning over here. She has mic issues, but she'll be here with us throughout the whole meeting.
Okay, cool. I'm Suzanne Ong, a screenwriter from the film industry. What industry are you all from?
Potential in psychology, mental health industry.
Oh, okay, I thought like the help industry or something like that. No. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What first inspired you or gave you the opportunity to enter this industry, the media industry?
What first inspired me into writing was that I first wrote Wattpad stories way back then. I first got into reading was Twilight, and then those who know would know. And then I wrote Wattpad stories. I thought I wanted to be an author. Back then, I didn't know that no companies actually hire full-time authors. And then I'm like, oh, I have to find an actual career path and not just write books for a living. There's no such thing, apparently, because nobody cares about the arts. And then, or writers. And then I joined the Ming thing back then. Now they're called Blank Slate. I don't know if Core Studio still exists, but I joined that and started writing scripts from there. And that's when I wrote my first short film also. And then, but I realized I didn't want to write ads because I don't know, ads is just selling stuff. And then I contacted my lecturer, Bernice Chawley, who connected me with Lena Tan, who's the founder of Red Communications. And it all started from there. So I worked freelance with Red Communications. I don't know for how long, and then I got like a 6 month contract, and then after that, they absorbed me full time, and then I worked there for 4 years, and then I quit, and then now I am freelancing. It's my third year freelancing, so I am way older than all of you.
And that's what inspired you.
Yeah, and that's what inspired me, age.
Before, we know that you work as a freelance writer. Compared with working directly in a company, is it more difficult to find jobs or business as a freelancer?
Yes. I don't recommend it. It's a lot of hustling, a lot of cold emails, I probably sent maybe like 100 cold emails already at this point in my career. Especially if you're not a Nepo baby, especially if you are not like uh, anyone's favorite, like the golden writer of the industry, then it's harder for you to keep getting hired lah, honestly. And uh, I would say if you are not a hustle culture kind of a person, or you're not like a girl boss kind of a person, I would not recommend freelancing. It's you need to find the job to make the money. Whereas for working full time, you have someone pushing you to do the job. So yeah.
And then the most of the work you are involved is in connecting story, drafts, and ideas and plots into a completed story, right? So in the industry, are story outlines and script writing usually separated and handled by different departments?
So the process for that is you it depends whether you come up with the story yourself or you are commissioned by the client. So if like the client is Astro, for example, and even then it depends. It could be a media company like Astro, or it could be like a brand like RHB Bank or something like that, where they might have a project brief where they say like, oh, we want to make a story, maybe for example like a school story that's also a musical that also is about this student who is out of place, like the outcast or something like that, and then we are tasked to build the story from there. So they give like a very very brief, and then it depends on the company whether they will hire an external freelancer to come up with the story outline, which means like the synopsis, the logline, things like that, and to let the client choose which one they want, or they might do it in-house, and the story outlines and all might be done by the in-house creative team of the production house. Then only they hire a freelance writer like myself to flesh out the scripts. So it depends. Then only the script, once it's done, it's distributed to the different departments of the production side. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question is, what soft skills do you think are necessary in this industry and why?
I feel in this industry, as in, okay, so for me lah, as a writer, I feel like you need to be a good listener. You need to be, and it's not just so honestly. What gets me is who in the room gets to justify their ideas the most, and then it doesn't actually matter whether or not it makes sense sometimes. It depends on who is the best at justifying their ideas, and then the writer would have to make it make sense. So that is part of the job. It's not, to me, it's not always fair, but it's there is that kind of power play sometimes lah. So I feel like being a good listener, good interpreter, good team player, good at kind of understanding what is required of you without them actually spelling out what is required of you, and like knowing who you are working with and knowing how to navigate people is actually a big skill. And also, like a general rule that I've been told by my ex-boss is that a good writer, actually this applies to any profession, but you need to have like two out of three things. You have to be punctual, good with your timelines, good at what you do, and or a good team player, or like good to work with, a pleasant person to be around. So ideally 3 out of 3, but if you are 2 out of 3, you're good enough. Yeah.
Okay. So next is, over your years of experience, what new soft skills have you learned or developed? How have these skills helped you in your personal and work life?
For this one, right, I feel like it's the opposite. So it's like what my I feel like my personal interest is the one that helps with my writing, not the other way around. Not like my career stuff helps with my personal life. I couldn't think of one lah at the moment. But for example, I'm personally interested in personality stuff. So like MBTI, even like pseudoscience, horoscopes, zodiac. I don't know if I'm into zodiac, but more horoscopes, and then like psychology. So like attachment styles, that kind of thing. I feel like that helps with building characters. I feel like personally, I'm pretty good at building characters more so than plot. Uh, I think it helps with dialogue writing, uh, stuff like that. So I feel like this is true for other writers also if they are more interested in true crime documentaries, something like that. For example, they might be better at writing crime shows or thrillers than myself. I am better at writing drama and comedy and teen stuff just because I like watching teen stuff. So yeah.
All right, thank you for sharing. Moving on to the next question. With today's technological advances, such as AI and other search engines providing assistance in many fields, do you still use these tools in your work, and how do they help or challenge your creative processes?
Initially, I was like super anti AI, but then I'm like I kind of cannot not use AI actually. So it does help a lot when it comes to research based writing. So when I was writing uh, something to do with Singapore history lah. And then it's either I listen through hours and hours of podcast episodes, or I just copy paste the YouTube link to ChatGPT and ask it to summarize for me and ask like, I need these points. Are these points in the video? And they'll just tell me. It's so much faster. I got the document done in half an hour. So so when it comes to these kinds of things, I'm like, this is work lah. I don't think that this type of work kind of defines me as a writer. So I feel like I'm okay with using ChatGPT for these kinds of things. But I feel like I would never use it to write my scripts because I'm like, I don't even want my writing in ChatGPT for it to collect my data so that other people can be exposed to my kind of writing. I'm like, no, thank you. You need to hire me to get my writing. So yeah, so that's how I use ChatGPT lah. But AI, I guess, when I edit videos also, I will just use the subtitles lah. AI subtitles so much faster. I don't have to write myself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. And we move on to the next question. As a writer, how do you balance the audience's expectations with what you personally want to express?
For that, so it goes back to the thing about whether the idea is your idea or whether it's a commission work. If it's a commission work by the client and if the client says this is the target audience, I would follow. I would have to listen and follow and do what the client wants because it's a job. But when it comes to my own personal thing, I would just do whatever I want. I don't really care. I feel like I kind of know like what I'm interested in is writing stories about, I guess, women or like relationships or things like that. So I kind of know my target audience is women. So I kind of know that I want to write it a certain way. But then it feels like it's more true to me because I feel like I would want to watch these kind of things myself. So I'm the target audience. So that's easy for me. That's for my kind of writing. But when it's work, it's work. When it's work, I would have to understand the target audience for that particular job. Yeah.
But like, if you follow the audience, do you get stressed out, or like, do you find it harder, or like it's still quite smooth for you to write your scripts?
I think at the beginning, I was I didn't really want to follow because I'm like, I know better. I watch many films. I watch a lot of TV shows. And but then I was humbled by the industry where what I like is not necessarily what the mass audience likes. And usually big corporations they want to target the mass audience because that's where the money is at. That's the biggest pie of the piece. And everyone else who works on the project is also does also have that understanding that the target audience is mass Malays. So I would have to work within that framework, and once I understand it, it's a lot easier, and there's no point being, I don't know, being unaccepting of that. I feel like accepting it makes work much easier than trying to like, oh no, I know better, because like nobody cares. So
All right, I
yeah.
understand. Thank you. Um, for the next question, how would you describe the current cultural environment of the industry, and what are the biggest challenges most writers face today?
Money,
What?
budgets. The film industry is not a lucrative industry, I would say, compared to the advertising industry. If you want money, go for the advertising industry. If you feel like you are okay with making ads and you don't feel like you're dying under the weight of capitalism, go for advertising. That's what I would advise. But if you want to tell stories, the film industry is the way to go. At least that's what I feel. But then there's always budget cuts. There's always you like the target audience thing. You have to write it in a mass way. You have to write it this way where the Malays would like it. That's why sometimes when certain people, myself, when I see like Malay dramas, I'm like, oh, why is it written that way? But then that's what the people like. I'm not the target audience, but so that's kind of the film industry environment, I guess. It's like we have to cater the creatives to the profits, to where what works money wise. So yeah.
Thank you for that. Now let's move on to the next question, which is during the making of Club Rojak, what was the most interesting experience you had?
For me, because I wrote the story and I was also producer, so I got the chance to work with the actors. Um, I personally liked working with two actors, Steve Yap and Louisa Chong, who in the script. So the script is trilingual. So there's English, Malay, Mandarin, and then there's also minor Tamil. So it's like quadruple lingual. But then for the Chinese lines, Mandarin I wrote in Hanyu Pinyin, but then Cantonese I don't know Cantonese, so I wrote the lines in English, and then I worked on them with the actors, and it's quite good to because they are professional actors. They've worked way longer than I have. They're older than me also, and when I was running through lines with them, the lines are in English, and then they read the English lines one time only. Then after that, they immediately try like, okay, let me just try this in Cantonese, and they just immediately act out the whole line in Cantonese while holding the script as though the script is written in Cantonese, but it's not. Then I'm like, oh, that's really cool. You're so good at what you do. And like, oh, this is perfect. This is great. And then like Louisa Chong, she is also a very uh, she's a very experienced actor. She would give me options, and then she'll act out in a way. She's like, oh, should I do it this way, or should I do it like, should I tone it down and try it this way? And uh then I get to like work with them on what kind of energy, what kind of tone and stuff like that. So I liked working with the actors lah.
What an interesting. Okay, so looking back, what do you wish you had known before entering this specific industry?
That it does not pay well. That it it's a very so there are different ways of going about it lah that I only know later on. So I thought there's freelancing and there's working with the production house. And then now I know that there's also working with the client. I guess I don't know whether this is a newer thing or not, but then uh, I want to write scripts, and I thought that if I work with Astro, for example, Astro or View or ITE now, I wouldn't be able to write scripts. I need to just uh, work on paperwork all of the time. But then now I found out that actually these companies also hire script writers. So you may not be poor if you work there. So I feel like that's something to consider. Even MediaCorp, if you want to go Singapore, MediaCorp hires script writers. So like in-house, full-time. You get your EPF and benefits and stuff like that, which is important. Don't be like me.
Mm, all right, but at least it makes you happy.
Well,
Okay. Okay, so for the last question, so what advice would you give students like us who are still discovering ourselves and exploring possible career paths?
are you interested in writing?
I can be.
it,
I
it
mean, in
depends.
general.
Are you all interested in writing? I don't know if I want to give an advice that's like more writing or more general. So it depends if you guys are interested in writing or not.
I think you can
I
give
think yeah,
both
both.
also.
Yeah,
You both?
they give both.
Yeah.
Like as a writer, what would you give, and like in general as well.
In general, let's say if you don't have a passion, let's say, go where the money is at. Money is important in this economy, and go with the company that can pay you the most. Your first salary is the most important, like for real. If your starting salary, for example, is only 2K, you will only get 2.8 maybe within like 1 to 2 years in your career. But if your starting salary is 2.8, for example, you will get 3 plus already in your first or second year of your career. So starting salary is very important. Uh, if you have a passion, I think be aware of your privilege, whether or not you have the privilege to pursue your passion, because I think it's a privilege to pursue the passion, because you will have to hustle at least at the beginning until you uh, make, for lack of a better word, make your mark, but not really make your mark lah, so that until you reach a point where people know you, or you get you're taken seriously and stuff like that, then you will start earning more. But at the beginning it's harder, I would feel. But it depends what field lah. If you are interested in like accounts and audit or whatever, then good lah. Yeah.
I have
Okay.
an external question. You
Okay.
said that you started writing Wattpad. Like how young did you start? So like in general, how many years of writing experience you've already had? Do you mind revealing that?
Oh, I started journaling when I was 10.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
but it's not published lah. I just write only.
yeah.
And then I started Wattpad after I graduated SPM, I think. But before that, so like from 2 or from 3 like that, I started my blog that I used to have several blogs. Back then it's Blogspot lah. And then I would use one of them to write stories. And then Wattpad only survived until I finished Form 6. I didn't even finish my story. And then like that. Oh. Then I went to college. I studied at creative writing. So
All right. Thank you so much for sharing.
thank you. Do you have any additional questions? Is there anything that I did not answer?
I don't think so. You answer all of them pretty good. Thanks
Okay,
for having a meeting with us.
of course.
And yeah, do you have anything for us?
Do you need like a more uh less realistic answer? No, I feel like my answers are very realistic and
I
not like
think
inspirational at all. I feel like it's depressing. So
no, I
no,
don't think. I think it's
okay,
very good. I think it really like reflects the current situation in our world. So yeah, keep everything.
okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay,
Should we take one picture?
Ken.
Sure. Wait, yeah. Okay, three. Wait, okay. Three, two, one. Okay.
All
Thank you.
right, thank
Thank you
you,
so much.
Thank you
everybody.
for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank
Thank you
Bye.
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Bye.
You too.
Great. Mhm.
I think it's okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
How
you still
to
left.